Hi, Tisha. Thank you for your patience, and I apologize for the wait. Thank you again. So I have your information over here on my computer, and that's where I'm getting your energy from. I'm going to pause in between shuffling decks unless something is coming to me. I would recommend to watch this by yourself first, and then if you wish to share it with others, you are more than welcome to. It is your reading, whatever you wish to do with it. You can rewatch it as many times as you want. You can pause it, fast forward it, whatever you would like to do, okay? I would like to say that it is your life. It's however you wish to live it. So I'm just going to let you know what the cards are telling me and how I'm feeling and kind of go from there. The other thing that I like mentioning too is as my cards come out, it's like past, present, and future, but future isn't set in stone. As soon as you start making decisions, then things are going to change, okay? Just as a heads up. So, again, totally up to you and at your discretion. Also, I have an incense stick going, so if you notice any smoke, it's the incense stick, okay? Just as a heads up. Let me see what comes out. Excuse me. I just had lunch, so I apologize for burping. All right. Are you going through like a big shift in your life? I feel like there's something, that one's coming too. Something big that has either just happened or it's like building up to happen. Just curious. The first card tends to, set the tone of the reading as well, just as a heads up. But this is order 4908. I usually do that and I forgot to. Okay, so the first card for you was Soul. So with this one here, it's like trusting in the flow of things. It's also about like accepting and forgiving, and also like your true self. You are true to yourself and who you are. As far as like accepting and forgiving, I feel like you're really not a people pleaser, but you want everybody happy. You want to not rock the boat. You want to just kind of be in your own element and kind of just go with the flow of things. But at the same time, if something upsets you, you keep it bottled up until you blow up. I feel like that's you in a nutshell. So I think a lot is going on with you with another individual by the looks of this. I think you're struggling. The reason why I say that is the first card after Soul was Love Offer. So the Love Offer is about like some sort of union, togetherness. It can be a romantic union, or it can be like a friend union too. This one here is some sort of like togetherness, and it's some sort of kind of like-minded individuals coming together, okay? So you felt really like, this is where I am. This is where I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? And then you were going through like a little bit of a spiritual awakening. So you kind of like found some things spiritual wise, and you kind of gained some clarity on some things, and it was kind of preparing you for like future events. So I think you're manifesting too, because when you're manifesting, you have to make room for your manifestations if they're going to be coming true. Once they do come true, then you need to shut them off unless you're wanting something more with it, okay? Because if you don't shut it off, then it could backfire on you. So I feel like with this spiritual awakening, sunflowers are very important too. They follow the sun, and it's like joy, happiness, those sorts of things. So I feel like in a little bit ago, you were like in your element. You kind of finally found that clarity, that aha moment of like, this is where I am supposed to be. But then you were still having some nostalgic moments too. So you were still kind of looking back on some things going, if I would have done this, then this would have changed. Or the woulda, the coulda, the shouldas. I think that you kind of reminisce in the past. You don't stay in the past, but you're like, what if this would have happened? This would have worked out differently. I feel like that's kind of where your mind goes sometimes. But you gotta think about your abundance that you have, okay? Abundance isn't always money. Okay, or materialistic things. You got to think about abundance in other aspects as well. Yes, it can come in the form of money and other materialistic things, but friends, family, pets, those sorts of things are also abundance. Good working environment, that's abundance right there. So this is about your, again, being gratitude and having those blessings come to fruition and being thankful for them. Check this out. Like in between the nostalgia card, we got spiritual awakening with the sunflower field, and then abundance with the big sunflowers. This is sandwiched between your nostalgia, okay? So I feel like, again, the sunflowers are very important to you, and you might have even been seeing sunflowers too. Not necessarily in person, but whether it be like on social media or whether it be like in pictures or on TV or whatever it comes in. I think that sunflowers are important to you. The next card was revenge. So I feel like this isn't really you in a nutshell. It's more of like a, you bottle it all up until you're ready to explode. So are you a Scorpio? For some reason that's really odd and weird. That you might have water placements. But specifically Scorpio. That's odd. Anyway, I've never been that specific before. So if that is true, let me know. Let me know how this resonates too. So the revenge card is about, like, again, having that retaliation and like karma's gonna get them kind of aspects. And you're kind of like, oh, the universe will take care of that for me. And then, but again, at some point in time, you kind of just can't take it anymore, and you just kind of, you know what I mean? So letting it go came out after this. So you gotta release what no longer serves you. If you are having these like moments of like inner need to express things outwards, you need to kind of let it go somehow. I don't know if you were journaling already, but I think that journaling is really going to help you too. And I think that that's where you kind of go with your nostalgia too, is when you're in these moments, you look backwards. But you got to let it go. You got to release it, because you got to give yourself a second chance. Okay. You're way too hard on yourself. So you got to learn the lessons, keep it in the past, but learn the lessons to move forward, okay? So put that crap behind you. Release what no longer serves you, okay? Even though it's gonna bring some heartache to you. So this is about, again, some sort of loss, some sort of painful ending, feeling maybe a little bit alone. So towards the beginning, again, we have love offer, and then we have a broken heart. So I feel like whoever this individual is, you were really leaning on them for support, but I feel like right now or in the future, like shortly, I don't know, cards don't go by our timeline, but I feel like this is going to kind of happen a little bit. You may suffer from anxiety and a little bit of depression too, but who doesn't, to be honest? But I think that it's going to hit you a little bit harder because of something that's going to be happening. So you're going to feel like you're the only one, and you're going to be on like autopilot. So you gotta, again, kind of go back to your roots, go back to who you actually are, and trust in that divine timing again, okay? So trust in that divine pathway, trust in yourself, because you have been trusting in yourself, so don't change that, okay? No matter what you're going through, unfortunately, it's one of those things that you're going through it for a reason. Either it's a lesson that needs to be learned, or I don't know how I feel about the whole you signed up for your life kind of deal because of all the crap that I've been through, but again, it's in the perfect timing. Things are going to work out, and you're going to be on the right pathway. I feel like if I didn't go through what I went through with all my shit that I had happen, I'm using myself as an example, then I would not be where I am today. Okay? So even though it looks like shit and it smells like shit, You're going to get through it, wash it off, and then you're going to come out smelling like a rose in the end. Okay? So don't let your ego get in the way. So bring that inner child out a little bit more. Heal that inner child a little bit too. Don't have that ego step in the way of everything. And I think that's where the nostalgia comes in too, is your ego's taken over with that. So materialism, false sense of self, those sorts of things. Okay? Bottom of the deck is kind of futuristic too. We got surrender. So you can like accept the help, letting it all go, having that enlightenment ha-ha moment. Or you can be a little bit in like the depressed state, okay? So ultimately right now it's kind of up to you what way you're kind of gonna go. So kind of withdrawn, feeling all alone. So again, kind of reiterating this card a little bit, okay? So stay strong, stick to your beliefs, and kind of go from there. Let me grab another deck and see what that one shows. One sec. As I'm shuffling these, creativity and focus is a little bit hard sometimes for you, or staying on task is a little bit hard for you, I feel like sometimes. Let me know how that resonates too, because I'm kind of curious about that. All right, while I finish shuffling these, I'm going to pause. Just give me a sec. This is going to be interesting. So the first card of this one is family, home, and commitment. So this one here, again, I feel like those of you whoever's around you, family, friends, and those sorts of things, you're very protective of. You are like the warrior to them. You really care for them, and you really show that you care for them. Now, this is kind of interesting because we have air and then water came out together. Remember how I mentioned water? Okay, so I think that if you do have water placements in your chart, you are very intuitive, not only for yourself, but also for others. And I think that some individuals come to you for advice to see what you think of. Think of this and that and the other thing. Now, since both of these came out together, yes, you could be air sign or have air in your chart. When I say in your chart, is basically your main three. So your sun, your moon, or your rising. With the air and the water coming out together, the ace on the cards are really sticking out to me. So notice how both of them have the ace on here. So one's there and one's in the corner. The ace to me on these represent kind of like the ace in tarot. So aces usually are like new beginnings, newfound hope, those sorts of things. So I feel like you always try and see the bright side of things. You always try and look on the brighter side of different aspects of things that are coming your way. Storm came out. Okay, so kind of reiterating the first deck, that something unexpected is going to be happening, but I don't know what it is. Storms come in all waves, shapes, and forms. There's like the gentle spring rain kind of gentle storm that brings you soothing and calming. And then there's also like the hurricane rocking storms, tornado kind of weather, those sorts of storms too. I think that whatever you're going to be going through or are in the middle of going through, it's not as bad as what it could be. You think that is really, really bad, or you're going to be thinking that is really, really bad. But there's other individuals out there that have it worse than you. So you just kind of have to, again, kind of take it one step at a time, breathe, and work through it. There's some sort of pattern that's going to be happening too. So not necessarily toxicity, but you're going to be bound because of these patterns that keep happening. Things are going to keep popping up because of what this storm is doing. So you gotta try and break free of those bonds somehow, change things up to try and get them to break, okay? You are the one that's creating those bonds, so you have to be the one to break them. I don't know how to break them because it has to be up to you to break free of whatever this is, okay? Now, until death do us part, and it's contracts, careers, and commitments, and then Saturn's in the corner. So when my cards come out sideways like this, it's like it's in reverse, but it's like past, present, and future. I feel like, again, you're like, this is how I was brought up. This is what I expect. This is what I'm getting. This is not what I thought. So I feel like, again, you're kind of really set in your ways of certain things, and you're always gonna be that way with certain things too. Now, the Saturn is really sticking out to me, and I don't know what the spiritual meaning is for Saturn. Let me look. Hang on one sec. Discipline, structure, and responsibility. Saturn's spiritual meaning revolves around discipline, structure, and responsibility. It is often associated with the limitations and boundaries an individual must face to grow spiritually. Saturn is associated with both the root chakra and the crown and represents the resolution of karma and the move into higher consciousness. It serves as a constant reminder of our duties, obligations, and the consequences of our actions. So this is kind of like, again, your